My name is Swag, and I'm here today to help you get into a +2 Mythic Ara Kara City of Echoes. We're going to go over the major and most important mechanics that you will face throughout the dungeon. Please know I'm going to leave a bit out as I don't think it's relevant if you're going into a +2. Touching eggs will drop webs on the ground. The webs will cause damage and slow you down. Try to avoid them. You're going to want to clear out the 3 mini bosses that appear: Ixen, Nacht, and Atik. All 3 of them have a frontal cone that you want to dodge, and then a special mechanic that you have to play around. Ixen will begin to cast Horrifying Shrill. You'll want to interrupt that. Nacht will summon ads, so burn them down, and tanks make sure to grab that aggro. And Atik is a little bit more interesting. He will cast a poison attack on players that needs to be watched, as well as casting a poison spot on the ground that you'll want to stay out of. Our first boss is Avox. Similar to on the trash you just faced, make sure to avoid the webbed areas on the ground. The webs will go out during Gossamer Onslaught, and you can minimize the webbing on the ground by having your party loosely stack. Voracious Bite is the tank buster. Multiple attacks leaving you with a 100% damage taken increase on the tank for 10 seconds. Throughout the fight, you'll see egg sacs spawn up like this. Starved crawlers will spawn from them during the fight and occasionally fixate on players. Try to stack up the crawlers, but not on the boss, and DPS them down. If they do make it to the boss will eat them and become empowered. You've defeated Avox and you're on your way. Watch out for the hulking Bloodguard, as they have a frontal with a knockback. Keep sentry stag shells interrupted. However, they cannot be interrupted with traditional interrupts. Instead, use stuns and forced movement abilities to prevent their cast from going off. As soon as they are stopped, they will start casting immediately again. Next up, we have boss number 2, AnobZ. Same as the Bloodguards, he will cast a major frontal. Throughout combat, bloodstained web mages will spawn, rooting players and increasing damage taken. Focus adds as soon as they spawn. Burrow Charge will cause them to burrow underground and charge the furthest player away, hitting anyone else in his way. So try to get out of that when you see it go off. Ceaseless Swarm will cause a swarm of bugs to take over the field of play. Make sure to stay in the eye of the storm, that circle on the field, to prevent taking damage. AnobZ is down, and now we're heading to our third and final boss. The winged carriers will fly around and drop pools of grasping blood. If you get snared in the pool, you can damage the slime to break yourself free. Keep that in mind, as it's a mechanic on the boss. Nerubian haulers get stronger each time they use their AoE stomp and stun. We've made it to the final boss, Kikatal. Bloodworkers drop blood on the floor where they first get hit, then they run away. Get some pools dropped far away to help later. Cosmic Singularity will pull in all players. When this happens, run into a puddle on the ground to get rooted. You will need to be further than 10 yards away to prevent taking any damage. Keep in mind, you cannot share pools. Everyone needs their own in Mythic Plus. Erupting webs will cause gray swirlies to appear on the ground. Avoid them, as they will explode and do major damage. Lastly, Venom Volley will cause each player to get a dot that also slows them down. 2 slime beams will then erupt from those players, and these do cause damage when overlapping other players. When it is dispelled or runs out, 2 slime waves will launch from each player in the direction the slime beams were facing. Try to face away from each other, not to cause more damage. And that's everything you need to know about Ara Kara, the City of Echoes, for a Mythic dungeon.